Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Hey, Rupert. I have not seen you here in quite some time. How's it going? And hey, Sinistella. And David, hello, hello. Yeah, sorry I did not stream yesterday. There was just a lot going on. And I kind of mentioned this already, but I think I made a big mistake by streaming or by working on Sunday. And I did it so that I could use my like AI resets at the right time. And yeah, now we're down to 9% for today. Did a lot of stuff yesterday. I want to show some of that off. So yeah, let me show you the work that I did in the last day. Because yeah, I was doing a lot of different features. Okay, so I got this list here. I'm gonna put it on the other page so I can see what it is I worked on. Now I can show it off. Hey, Megabox. And hey, Sofameyer. Yeah, great work on your game so far. I do want to check it out at some point. Given that it looks polished and that it's roguelike, I think doing a proper playtest is probably like multiple hours. So that's part of why I was like, I should probably just play the demo. And even the demo might be long based on what I assume about the genre. Okay, control rebinding. Yeah, so let's take a look at this first. So now music plays on the control rebinding screen and the settings screen and everything. It's a little quieter than elsewhere. But yeah, control rebinding works how you would expect, or at least how I think you would expect. So like this, you can now see tooltips above these buttons, even when on a controller. So like I could add a binding here and set this to this. If I can remove a binding. If I change a binding like Y, if I try setting this to B, it swaps the two of them. And then if I reset this, it'll reset the other one as well. If I try rebinding a keyboard key to a gamepad button, it says you must press an input on your keyboard. So like, this is great. This is working exactly how I'd expect. I think this is very usable. It's got the right glyphs and everything. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. 150 plus hours. Yeah, yeah. I love the title screen picture. I think we might be changing this soon, but it'll be the general, like the same style. But yeah, I like this a lot too. So there's that. Let's go to some other little things here. I just want to show off some quick things. Kevin had given me a suggestion that... Actually, I can show a couple things here. So one is if you try opening a treasure chest and don't have space, it now says you don't have enough room for items. This price setting dialog is a little bit smaller, and we now have glyphs here. These say set price. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, they say set price and cancel. That way you don't need to move over to a button. You just can stop it right here. So this should be a lot more user-friendly. What else? Oh yeah. Well, this is really hard to show off, but I added the animated swords from Skeleseller that we never got to put in Skeleseller. And they're only from the final chest, which is why it's hard to show off, and they're very rare. But they always sell for $9.99, or at least they could, if you know that that's the price. What else did we do? Oh yeah, I added in... This is very stupid. But there's now a signpost down here, and when you go next to it, it says, hello, I am Senior Sign. And if you come back... This is, like I said, really dumb. But I at least like it. If you come back and you skip through this cutscene, and we go down here... You missed my birthday, Senior Sign. No one's gonna care about this. You can dig him up, and if you do, then he doesn't show up when you come back. But yeah, so then what else do we have here? This is probably my favorite thing I have done in the game so far. I love this idea, and the problem with what I'm about to show is that it requires a very specific set of steps that I don't think anyone is gonna do. So back in Skeleseller, if you waited like 30 seconds in the very intro tutorial and did nothing, there were all these like pointing hands that would point at where you needed to go. Very few people saw that, but the ones that did generally got a kick out of it. This is one of those like, no one's gonna see this, but if anyone does, they're gonna laugh hysterically. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use the key on the community center door, and it opens it, and then the key is gone. But Kevin tried digging out the door, so I made that possible. You can now dig out the door. Well, that makes the key useless. So now if you try using the key, it blows up. I was laughing so much as I did this, because I'm like, this is just such a funny idea to me. And like the key's gone, you walk in the community center, but no one's gonna see that. No one's gonna know that that's a thing in the game. And then, oh yeah, there's one other little thing. And it is, I'm trying to do some more like kind of goofy stuff to show off that the game is broken. So in this game, You're supposed to put bombs against this wall. If you don't put them against the wall, they're normal bombs. But the one you put against the wall turns double size and actually will hurt you from farther away too. And in my mind, this is kind of like an Undertale when you're forced to destroy a certain NPC. They like make it really over the top and sort of unexpected. Anyway, I think those are all the things that I wanted to show off. Price setting, senior signs, throwing the key, small improvements. Yeah. So yeah, I got a lot done. All right, so we got to add these animated swords. I checked it out yesterday. Everything looks good. I just need to read through the code. This is good. This is good. This is in all item data. Yeah, this is fine. That's fine. Yep. This should never happen. I don't know why it does this. It should just be like get random element. In fact, you know what? I should search for what this was. BTRGI this. Anything that has length in it as well, like that. Array. Oh no, that one's fine. But this is not fine. No, this is an index. That's actually okay. Never mind. Yeah, maybe we're fine for all of these. Yeah, we probably are. Okay, so just that one I messed up. All right, looks good. Pair in definitions. What is this function that we're in? Create data. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I'm generally fine with this. I'm not going to be too picky about the code. Just that one thing I wanted to change. So now sprites are animated for items. Oh, and they get outlined differently. I did not think about this. When does this get done? Is it every single frame? Is it every single frame? It is every single frame. Okay. How do we do this? Swords. Yeah, I gotta change this. I think. I don't think we need to refresh the shader every single frame. It's probably not a big deal. It's just extra work. Item definition. Oh man, here it is. Okay, so here's the drop chance. Let's go find out where this is used. Try create animated sword. Yeah, so I want this to just always happen. Okay. Now we can go test this out and see if this was needed. Yeah, like I said, lots of stuff to do today. All right, so we go into loot boxes. We open up the first treasure chest. It should contain a sword now. Yep, there it is. Wait a second. There is no interaction boundary. There's no outline. What's supposed to happen here? What am I even looking at? Interact region. Oh, in the dialogue? No, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, this is called from item frame changed. I don't think this is necessary. We didn't even do this based on the item, do we? Outline target. Or something else is wrong. I closed it, didn't I? Ugh. Oh man. Yeah, I didn't mean to close it. I mean, it's not that hard to get back, but there we go. Yeah, no, it's always the item display. Yeah, it's always the item display. So what is this for? Source, texture, shader parameter, texture size, texture region, shader parameter. Why is this ever done on an item? Outline material is here. Set outline target. Apple tree? I think this is in case we wanted to set it on items. Yeah, I don't think this is necessary. Okay, let me go figure that out. Okay, so this should be on, yeah, local. And here. So why was this changed? Actually, wait a sec. There were a couple of these, right? There is using it on an item here. Oh, for price warnings. Oh, whoops. Okay. That's why reading function names is important. All right, so we do this, we do this, we do this. And then we set the price of this. And it should outline differently. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So do I want that? You can see this red is kind of wiggling here. I don't think we do. Let me set all these other ones. We'll get all the different swords. I think just the base outline is probably fine. Now we need the green sword. This is not going to work. I'm going to run out of space. I guess we can just give more space, huh? Here. There. Yeah. Yeah, the general shape doesn't really change. Also, they look great, don't they? I like it a lot. Hey, Magnus. Yeah, I think we just figured out based on the original item and not change it. I need price warnings. I really like the fire one. In fact, I wonder if we should get rid of the obsidian one. Maybe we should. No, we're not using art at all. Yeah, I don't know yet. All right, so item. This is on item frame changed. What if we just never did this? Because I'm thinking of deleting this. And we'll probably never add other items to this game again. Because, I mean, this is just a sub-game inside of this. All right, so we do that. We go over to here. We do this. We do this. There, it should highlight the sword. I think we need to set a price first. I highlighted this one. Oh, because whoops. Okay, I'm stupid. Whoops. Oh, they bought the sword. Oh, no. Oh, no. We need to set this to 1 and then have it get the... Oh, yep. Okay, that looks super broken. Yeah, maybe we just keep it as is then. Okay, fine. Hey, Ziga, how you doing? All right. Well, we tried. We tried. Let's look through the rest of the code. Yep. Target value cache spray frames, otherwise making new spray frames, set it to looping. Frame count is in the visual. The visual is taken from visual data. Yep, that's fine. I should probably be saving these files so they get auto-formatted. Yeah, this set item to null, I think is a little bit weird in exit tree. Why do we do this now? Presumably so that there's some, yeah, okay. We handle listeners in here. That's fine. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, Okay. All right, item sprite frames. No matter what, we're playing the default animation. Huh. All right. I'm fine with that too. Try to create animated sword. Yeah, so I gotta put this stuff back in. And that is inside treasure stand. And then that's it. Okay. So yeah, this looks good. So add animated swords. These are always valued at 9999. They have a separate small drop chance from gemmed chests. So I'm hoping that someone sees at least one of these per run. Hey, Pickle. All right, so that's finished. There was one other thing I wanted to do. We're now using that obsidian sword, yeah, in 2 different places. So we just need to pick any other weapon in the sprite sheet. I don't even have it open anymore. Okay, well, let's go open it. Assets, sprites, objects, loot boxes, items. All right, so we use this sword right now. It just needs to be something else that's not used by the animated ones. So it could be like that axe, for example. Do we use one of those axes? Hey, Galaxy Inferno. I'm back. You're not here at the start of the week, no? Am I going crazy? I was here on Monday, and Tuesday I had planned to stream, but then I canceled it kind of at the last minute. There was just a lot going on. But yeah, I am back, and I'm hoping that I don't take more like unexpected time off. I think today we've got plenty to do. Tomorrow, I don't know what was on the schedule. Yeah, I did not plan tomorrow yet. And then Friday, I wanted to figure out what's left to stabilize. And it might be doing more game design. It might be, I don't know, making like YouTube content or something. In fact, I should probably write this down for Friday. Note, even if it's making YouTube videos, I could still plan the content on stream if I wanted. Yeah. But yeah, things have been going well. There's been a lot of like new features in the game, new little bits of polish and bug fixes. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, I think that's about it. But yeah, we should have a Steam page up by the end of today. I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. It won't have a trailer. In fact, actually, maybe that's what I should be thinking about. Yeah. Yeah. I hope you're doing well, though. I hope everyone's doing well. I have had just an elevated amount of work and things going on, and I've got to tone that down at some point. All right, so here's the obsidian sword. The obsidian sword is always inside the gemmed treasure chest. So we're going to change this to just something else. Which axes did we use? The fire axe and the regular axe. I want it to be a weapon. I'm just trying to think like what's another cool looking weapon that we could consider to be like end tier. Maybe like this crossbow. Frostbow is inside the golden chest. Are any of the... Let's do this. All right, here we go. So any bows? No bows show up in the gemmed chest. Pink vase, pink necklace, skull necklace, purple brooch, skull shield. Yeah, I think we just add in one of these bows. Maybe this golden crossbow. Yeah, I think that's good. Hey, Rami. Hey, Chili. What do you think about arranging a co-work session in your Discord? I think we did this a while ago. And yeah, I think it's nice for people who want to co-work when I'm not streaming, let's say. So, I mean, you could always set something up if you want to and see who joins. Usually when we had done this in the past, it was somewhere between like 2 to 4 people. And I mean, given that it's usually like everyone's being silent anyway, I think the appeal is not there for everybody. Finally pushed to change at work this week. Almost back to my productive self. Moving made me so stressed and unproductive. Yeah, moving is like a long sickness. I hope things are dying down over there. All right, so golden crossbow is just 1 row up. So this should be very, very easy to change. We just rename this to gold crossbow. And then we change its item data to be 1 row up. And then that's it. We should be done. Now, testing this is a lot harder because we got to get this item, and it's not guaranteed to be a common item, although I guess there's like a 60% chance that it is. So let's just go try this out. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. We're going to do this. We don't want price warnings. We want that, and that. All right, did we get it? Yep, there they are. Nice. Okay, cool. Well, that wasn't too bad. So yeah, now I have the golden crossbow in the game. And that way, when you get the rare sword, it doesn't look like, oh, rare sword, but with some sparkles on it. It looks like a totally different item. Yeah, great. Replace obsidian sword. Now that we have the animated swords, and one of those uses the obsidian base, I didn't want the same item to show up twice. I replaced it with a gold crossbow. All right, and we are done with that. So let's switch back. Get switch main. Get merge that. Push everything. Hey, Passion, welcome in. All right, I want to push even the translation sub repo. This better work. Please no problems. Please no problems. Cool, push successful. So now let's go take a look at the translation sub repo. That's the wrong repo. Yeah. Here's the right one. Change wording of resetting a keybind 12 hours ago. Perfect. Perfect. Oh man, okay, great. So I should probably report this on Discord in the game team channel. Just pushed. Sorry again. Whoop. What's going on here? Okay, now we are going to set up the Steam page. So this is done. This is done. Stop using fast mode should have already been the case. Yep. I was using it yesterday just because I had quota to burn through. I think Codex is going to change how this works. They used to give out banked resets, and then they stopped for a while, and they were talking about like changing how banked resets work. There was something that leaked on X and possibly Reddit, and they said, okay, so if you're on the $20 a month plan, they were like, you can buy a reset for the week for $8. Now, I don't know if this is gonna happen for sure, if it's already happened for some people and it's A/B testing or what, but this sounds like a great idea in my opinion, because one of the problems I had is the tiers are $20 and then $100 and then $200. So if you wanted something in the value range of like a $60 plan, your only option was to get like three $20 plans, which was kind of questionable, or to get $20 in some top-up credits, but they're not worth the same. So now if you wanted something that was like a $60 plan, yeah, you could just do a $20 a month plan and you'd get, 5 resets, right? And that means you have roughly double your usage. And if you don't use it, then you're not paying for it. So you could pay for one reset and you'd be paying $28 a month. So yeah, I think that's a really smart idea from them, or at least like it seems like a good idea for me, because I was going to go up to the $100 a month one and not use like $50 worth of it. So now I don't have to do that if that comes to fruition. So that'd be pretty cool. So this looks like it's done. Set an alarm if I have to. Yeah, we should probably just reset this right now. Unless I'm actually planning on using AI, and I'm not really, right? Yeah, not really. Is that GPT? Yeah, pretty much. It's Codex ChatGPT. Okay, I gotta go download a bunch of images. Sorry, I really should have done this ahead of time, but I didn't. So, yeah, you're gonna watch me do practically nothing right here. Let's put this. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's put it here. Let's put it in Steam assets. So you'll slowly see this folder fill up from something I'm doing off screen right now. Yeah, like I said, I should have done this before. I didn't. All right, so there's one image. This should go faster because it's got the folder picked now. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is pretty quick. Okay, so that's all those images, and then I just have 2 more here and here. Library here already exists. Do you want to replace it? No. call this no logo. Oh, and then I need the fave icons and stuff. Let me go get that too. This is the merch one. Merch. And then fave 1, fave 2, fave 3, and fave 4. Okay, I downloaded everything. I think we are set up to get this working now. Hey, Quilly. And hey, War Eagle. Yeah, I'm not watching anyway. You know, it's kind of funny. So a couple of playtesters are in the stream and they're here often enough that I would assume that they are watching more frequently. But then when they play the game, they're like, oh, I haven't seen any of this. I haven't seen any of this. And that's totally fine. I'm not expecting people to watch the stream necessarily. But it's revealing to me that, and by the way, this is how I am in other streams. So like, I'm rarely watching what the streamer's doing. I'm usually just talking to them and they're in the background. But yeah, it's revealing to me that like, oh, I guess if I'm pulling playtesters from the stream, unless they're actively watching everything I'm doing, then it's going to be like a new game to them. Do I read the chat? Yeah. I even said hi to you. I don't know if you heard me say hi earlier, but I'm responding and reading chat right now. Yeah. Arrived just in time for a Raider demonstration. Yeah, and well, actually, I don't know if you saw the newest like big demonstration, but let me show this off because I think this is pretty cool. But yeah, a friend play tested the game and he's like, you know, one of the problems is it's not over the top enough and how everything gets broken. So you've seen this probably a million times, right? Of jumping over this gap. But I don't know if you've seen this new bit here where you now fall through the source code of this game. But yeah, this is great. I really like this. I'm also one of those fake viewers. Yeah. So I like that a lot. I think these are the ways that people are going to be like, oh, yeah, it's definitely broken. I've never seen that before. And it is the source code of that particular game, which I think is kind of cool. Okay. So use the fave icon on the site. So we got 3 fave icons here, 4 fave icons. This is the one I want to use for everything. I really, really like this. I just think this is so cool. You know, it'd be especially cool, which we're definitely not doing, is if we colorized this image and then I dynamically change the fave icon to match your character. But like I said, I am not doing that. That is a level of polish that it's like if you just were bored for a day and wanted a fun task, but like no one would ever see it. Gotta follow a bunch of times to make my own clone. You think non-coders recognize it as source code? Might need more hacker green. I think so. And if not, they'll at least recognize that it's broken. I'm going to try to get playtesters from all over the board, but it's going to be very difficult to find ones through my own like means of finding people who are not familiar with how code makes games, but still would play games. So anyway, I think it's probably a good enough effect right now. All right, there's one more thing I got to do off screen, then I can start doing pretty much everything on screen. And the thing I got to do off screen now is move all this to the place I actually expect it to be. So Steam, new round of assets, first round, or like round 1, round 2. Okay, so round 1, we're going to put in this folder. Like I said, I got to do this off screen. And then round 2, we're going to copy paste all of this. But the fave icons don't really belong inside Steam. I guess they could because they're... Yeah, so the other fave icon sorts of things were small little works in progress. This is just the zoomed in view of the character, of course, from the logo. This was a slightly different view of the character looking upward. I don't think, this is definitely my favorite one. And then this one was before we had her at the edge of the screen like this. So yeah, I like this a lot. Let's do like, oops. Put these over here. And then merch, is this the same as this one? No, it's not. Okay. Hey, Pretzel. Lots of vibe coders who have no idea how code works, but they at least know that they're producing code. Like the whole point here is just, would you know that that is supposed to be code? And if yes, awesome, you get the reference, you get the idea. If not, you at least understand it's broken, that you don't ever expect to see that in a game, whatever that is. It could just as well be a bunch of question marks, for example, and you'd still recognize it like, oh yeah, that's broken. Yeah. Wednesday Rabbit. We're adding on. The cult is evolving. All right, so back to the Steam page, right? Yep, back to the Steam page. Whether it's a 5-year-old or a senior dev. Yeah, and like I said, as long as it's clear that it's broken, and it's clear that it's broken, I think that's all that's needed. All right, so edit store page. So you got to figure this out because I think we need to change everything. Let me read what Quickie Joe said again. Some of the layouts might look a little weird, like the library hero, but that's because the template had a lot of stuff that could be cut off. Sorry for wrong sizes pulling from Steam. Yeah, here's what he said. I changed her arm a little so I wouldn't use any of the ones I already sent. So I should update everything. So maybe that's what we should start with, is updating the stuff that already existed. Scrolled too fast to even see that there were characters. That also might be a Twitch compression thing. I think it's a Twitch compression thing. It's a little bit clearer on the screen. But I'll do play tests and we'll see what people, how they react to that. Okay, so header capsule. The size is supposed to be 920 by 430. Is there some easier way to see what the sizes are without me having to click each one and go to get info? Where do they even go? There it is. Yeah, I'd love to do that. Finder, see image dimensions. How can I show the column? When in icon view, show item info under. Okay, icon view. Oh, there it is. Okay, sure. That was easy. All right, so we need the header capsule. That is 920 by 430. It's probably that. No, store capsule large. There it is. And this is different from what we had? No, that's pretty much the same. Okay, that's fine. Not all of them might have changed. So this is the store capsule. Header capsule, I guess. Yeah. All right, so that one's done. Small capsule. We need 462 by 174. That's this one, I guess. Good. Then main capsule. That's this one. Okay. Good. Then vertical capsule, 748 by 896. That's that one. And then page background, I'm not going to set up. So I think we're set. Let's upload all these. I hate having to do this. It really should be a select all. Confirm this capsule contains a legible logo. Yes. No additional text aside from the logo. Yes. Legible. Yes. No additional text. Yes. This filling 1/3 of the image is a little bit questionable. Yeah. It says at least. Never mind. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Cool. We're good. Hey, Tensei. Hey, VA Survivor. What's your method to not making something too non-obvious to the player so they don't rage quit on any random game and refund the money? Trust this will all come together when starting to reach the end of developing. Just interested. I think it's just paying attention to what playtesters are experiencing it, because that's the only real way I could do this. Well, short of releasing the game, hearing negative reviews, and then changing it based on the negative reviews. But yeah, if a playtester is like, hey, this is boring, or like, this is too broken, or I don't understand what I'm doing here, then yeah, it would be difficult. I think the finest line in the game right now, and this is pretty tough to balance, and I actually kind of balance it in the other direction, but in the top-down shooter, and you've probably seen this already, but when you die, it says at the top, you died, you don't keep your upgrades, here's some for free to get you going again. So people read this, they get the upgrades, and they're happy they just got upgrades, and whatever, it's more than what they started with the first time around, and they go through and they're a little bit more cautious this time. The problem here is that if you get to the boss room, like let's say you got another 5 of each upgrade and you get to the boss room and you die here, oh, I'm practically invincible. Okay, well anyway, I'll just kill the player. So people at this screen are like, I hope that doesn't send me back to the beginning. And then they get here and they're like, oh no, it sent me back to the beginning. However, the the trick here is the game lies to you and you actually do keep your upgrades. So I'm moving super fast, even though I just died and supposedly didn't keep my upgrades. So people are supposed to realize, like, wait a second, like, I'm shooting super fast. My bullets are larger than normal. Like, maybe the game just lied to me. And then, yeah, they just bolt through the rest of the rooms. So as long as they don't get so mad that they just like rage quit on the first screen without even moving, I think it should be okay. And yeah, that's something you only pretty much figure out through playtesting and seeing how people react to this stuff. Oh, go to boss room gave me like 1,000,000 power-ups. That's why. Yeah. I think one of those went out of bounds. Oh, no, never mind. That's just going to the UI. Tipo, I was surprised today. I wonder what it is. I think it's probably the new banked reset. Like, you can buy them. That's my guess. Because that's what people were saying on Reddit. Learning Vim is kind of hard for me to make the quick decisions whether to use H or L versus WEB. How long did it take you to learn? I don't use Vim, but Vim took, I don't know, somewhere between like a week and 2 weeks. And I think you just, at some point, you need to just think like, did I do this in the most efficient way or not? So like, let's say you're trying to select what's inside this particular set of parentheses. The cursor is here, so I'd probably press F comma to go here and then CI parenthesis to select inside of this. But like, you could also just press right a bunch of times. You could also press W a couple times and then right a couple times. And yeah, there's this thing called Vim Golf that might help you. Yeah, which is how do you do a certain scenario in as few keystrokes as possible. I suggest trying some of this out. Yeah. So I'll just paste that in the chat. All right, anyway, we added this. It says we've only added 4 out of 5, but that's because the last one's not required, right? Yeah. All right, so now we go over to library assets. Shouldn't the bars top left be filled if you have power-ups after the death? Then the user would see. The point of this game is to lie to you. So remember, the name of this game is Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. The brokenness of this game, this particular one, is that the game is lying to you. Like, you are keeping your power-ups. So I made that UI to purposely mislead you into thinking that you lose them. But you as a player can just realize like, oh, wait a second, I'm moving like really fast here. So yeah, you start out moving this speed and shooting at this speed. This is like snail pace, very slow. Crates take 4 hits to destroy. When you die a couple times, you should be at roughly this level of power, where it is no longer snail pace. Like, I'm running. The character actually uses a different animation. I'm shooting very fast. My bullets are larger, and I'm destroying crates in 1 hit. And also, if you did get in contact with an enemy, they're doing hardly any damage to you. So all of these things are like, hang on a second. My defense is 1. My other stats are 0, but I'm just mowing down enemies and I'm running super fast. So yeah, that's intentional. Okay, library assets. Let's go take a look at this. So we need the capsule, 600 by 900. That is here. Okay, then the header, 920 by 430. Are these different? Aren't these the same image? No, they're very slightly different. I wonder if that is intentional. Because it does not look intentional. I will probably ask Quickie Joe about that. Yeah, let me write that down. And I'm just going to upload this anyway for right now. But yeah, let me paste this here. Another rage bait stream. It's the Quickie Joe rage bait hour. No, I'm super happy with how everything's been going here. So ask Quickie Joe about these. They're very similar to the point that I don't know if they're supposed to be the same. If so, which do I use? Now, with that said, I don't think anyone's going to notice in the, whatever, like 1 or 2 days that this is up, that these are even different, because I don't know where they even show up. In fact, actually, they're library assets, right? So they can't show up for people yet. So it's totally fine to use this because we don't have a demo or anything. So library header, library capsule. Wait, I already added that one, right? Yeah, library header I did not add. It's there. This is library header. Oh, interesting. Okay, library hero now. Library hero, no logo. Hero graphic and logo are layered and move independently. Consider how the product logo. Okay, so we just put this here. And then the final thing is the logo. All right, nice. So we upload those. I'm excited. I'm excited about this. All right, looks good. Looks good. Confirm this does not include text or logos, correct? And confirm that this logo is on a transparent background. It is, except for that shadow there. We'll have to see how it works. Let's confirm and see. Yeah, it's gonna change. They'll be like, I would have paid $50 for this game, but I ran my image diff tool. All right, so now we use the placement tool here. All right, so Quickie Joe said to put it on the right side. I don't think that's possible. How does this say that you can do this? 4 green anchor points relate to the 4 possible positions it can be pinned. Bottom left, top center, mid center, and bottom center. Yeah, you can't put it on the right side. Where'd the tool go? Oh, here it is. Flip the background image. Well, we could, but then we'd have a different image for this than we have everywhere else. How do you do this? Oh, I see. What am I doing right now? Oh, okay. You click one of these anchor points and then change it based on that. Yeah, there's no right side. Well, anyway, can I shrink this? No. How are you supposed to... How are you supposed to test? I'm confused. Maybe the background image doesn't change? Yeah, maybe it doesn't change. Can you make it wider by adding empty space? You probably could, but I don't know how that would work with this placement tool exactly. Like, it might mess up and go off the side of the screen. So yeah, if I have to pick where to anchor this, I guess we'd pick at the top here, top center, and then just drag this until it looks good, right? So like that, I don't know. But then how are you supposed to, yeah, how do you test different sizes? I'll just hit save, see what happens. Saved, you can publish these changes. Should we just make this huge? Probably that's decent. Save. Yeah. Playtime 37 hours. This is just dummy data here, but it's kind of funny. All right, well, yeah, sure. Let's mark that as done. There's still an asterisk here. I'm guessing it's just that always shows. No, it says 4 out of 5 added. What? What did I not add? Do I just need to refresh this page? Yeah, now there's a check mark. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good. So let's read this over one more time. Actually, you know what? Let's not read anything over. Let's just go into, let's just go into the beta thing and we'll check it all out over here. See, I only have screenshots right now. And I would not say these screenshots are super compelling. I think with a trailer it would be. You are a player traversing the broken tutorials of disparate game worlds as you ponder your existence. Goofy, short, and fun. Okay, yeah, I mean, this looks good. It's a starter Steam page. It's not like we have much to talk about yet. Partial controller support. Oh, we should change that. Right, I've gotten it working now. Although none of the build's not going to be online anyway. It doesn't really matter, right? Where's the controller stuff? Controllers. Where is the control? Here it is. Edit. All right, general input support. In order to best describe your game's level of controller support to players, we have a quick wizard with a few short questions. Please complete this wizard. What kind of devices can be used to comfortably play a game? Mouse and keyboard, but gamepad is preferred. Yes. Okay, Xbox controller support. If it has full support, it'd be possible for a player to launch, configure, play, and exit your game without access to a keyboard. To truthfully indicate that your game has full support, your game needs to be able to do the following. Player must be able to do everything in the game with only a controller. Display the correct glyphs, icons when prompting the user to press a specific button. Any prompts to enter text must open a virtual keyboard. If your game supports local multiplayer. Okay, so yes, we now meet all these criteria. I could not say that for Skeleseller. If your game has support for one or more PlayStation controller models listed below, it should generally be possible to use those devices to do everything in the game that can be done with Xbox controllers. In addition, it must display the correct glyphs when prompting a user. USB or Bluetooth note. For PlayStation controllers on PC, it can be quite common for USB connection to work well, but not have the same level of support. Oh no. I don't have one of these controllers. I think Kevin does. But I can't say for sure that it'll work with Bluetooth, but why? What do I even need to do about that? Yeah, like why is that a problem? Game dev, PlayStation, Bluetooth support? Why is this even a concern? You use your controller via Bluetooth and can help test? Okay, let me write that down. So you have you ever played a game that doesn't support it over Bluetooth? I still don't understand what a game would have to do with why Bluetooth would or wouldn't work. Regarding DualShock controllers. I'm just gonna ask AI about this. Oh great, you can't even select the text. All right, well that's why we take a picture of it. How do you? Oh, right from here. Must only be haptics related. Hey, Jesta. It's not a PlayStation 1 specifically. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll delete this one. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to ask about this because I have no idea what this has to do with. On Steamworks. It says you have a new rate limit reset available. Did this actually change? This pops up every once in a while for just no reason. Yeah, this was one of those times. Unless it gave me another reset over here. No, it did not. This one expires today in less than 2 hours. I'm going to use it. All right, on Steamworks, I see this text. Why would I, as a game dev, have to do anything special to support PlayStation controllers over Bluetooth? Does Godot handle this automatically? I would expect it to be handled by some layer that's not me. So I think it's your game engine that would need to handle this if Steam's not doing anything. I just want to see if that's the case. It's kind of weird that there's not more information than this about like, hey, read this page for what you have to do to fix this. Anyway, I'm assuming that these are then fine, but I don't know about Bluetooth, and I guess we can't say it for sure unless we, well, maybe if we get an answer back from this. And it says, yeah, Godot definitely supports this. Here's proof. Aren't these controllers expensive? And I'd only be buying this literally for this one purpose. DualShock, PlayStation. Oh, wait, there's DualShock and DualSense. Wait, DualShock was like the old? I don't even know this stuff. I haven't had a PlayStation in forever. Yeah, okay. DualSense is the new version of it. Oh, man. So I need to buy 2 controllers? I don't want to do that. I'm guessing these aren't cheap. So PlayStation 4 controller. What is the general price range for this? Okay, like 37 bucks. $11. And what about DualSense? Where are used controllers? Is there a way to choose used? Used. Okay, so I could probably spend like 20, 30 bucks and get both the controllers, I guess. but it'd literally just be for this one purpose. So maybe it is better to just have somebody else do this. Yeah, probably. Hey, Toulette's. At what age did you start learning tech, and how long you been in the industry for? I've got a general command about that there. Yeah. Okay, well, let's continue reading this answer. Godot handles normal / USB Bluetooth or normal USB and Bluetooth input path for you, but it cannot guarantee that every PlayStation controller exposes the same device or capabilities. Reason Steam asks is that a PlayStation controller can present differently depending on how it's connected. Expose a different HID or port layout. Okay, yeah, I think we just got to ask someone to test for this. I can't imagine that this is not going to work, but you never know. Yeah. All right, well, let's go make an issue for this. Yuck, 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 yuck. I don't want to do this. So test PlayStation controllers over Bluetooth. Valve specifically has this text on Steamworks. From what AI told me, everything should just work thanks to Godot, but we still have to test it. Some general notes. DualShock is what the controllers were called before PS5. DualSense is the PS5 nomenclature. The controllers are not cheap when purchased new, but you can get them used for like $10 to $20. It's still probably not worth it, since it would literally just be for this test. So tasks: find someone with a DualShock controller, have them try button rebinding and make sure all glyphs look correct, and then find someone with a DualSense controller, and then update Steam to indicate that I have properly tested this. Yeah. I'm glad you like it, though. All right, well, this sucks. So whatever, that's what we've got. That's what we've got. Steam Input API integration, yes. We've done this, right? Automatically pause, we did that. Play wants to be able to remap buttons, yep. Yeah, this should all be done. Steam will show the following, yep. Save and exit. Okay, and then there's something at the bottom here. What just happened? I don't know. There's the whole, this stuff, yeah. Achievements, clouds, stats, leaderboards, and purchases, captions. There's nothing here about input, right? Yeah, nothing here about input. Okay. Never even clicked that link. Now you know. It does, huh? So there's only one small problem, and that's that I list my email address as an address I don't actually have access to just yet. But I don't think it really matters. I guess we could just say that it's at skeleteller.com for now. Yeah. I'll change this once I get the new domain set up. Yeah. All right, so where do we have that? Zoho. Finish setting up Zoho Mail. After doing this, change my email address on all Steam pages to adam@exonomist.com. Yeah. Would it make sense to just buy them? Honestly, probably not. Yeah, because it can't be that hard to find someone out there who's got that controller and wouldn't mind just like booting up the game, trying the control rebinding, and then reporting back like yes or no. And that person or people could also potentially become a playtester for the game. And that way I don't keep a couple of controllers that I'm using to just press like 10 buttons once every 2 years. It just feels like a waste to me. 5 Xbox controllers. Couldn't find a single PlayStation one. Is that boo? Yeah, apparently Xbox controllers don't have this problem. I don't know. My only controllers that I have are a Nintendo Switch Pro Controller 1, Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller, and then some like really old Logitech sucky controllers that probably aren't even useful anymore. I don't own an Xbox controller though. All right, so we could publish the Steam page now, right? Is there anything we're missing? I don't think so. Oh, put the Steam link on the site. Do I have that written down? Put the Steam link everywhere. Site, Twitch, commands, Twitch panels, commands, etc. You should be able to connect it to a computer, yeah. Well, I'll look for volunteers later when I get to this. I don't have a demo up right now. That's the problem. Oh, I see. Yeah. It's not a can PlayStation controllers connect. It's a can you specifically connect because of the lack of Bluetooth. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a demo though, so I'd need to like send a custom build over, and I don't think it's worth bothering with just yet. All right, so is there anything else we need to do on this page? I don't think so. I need to eventually fill out some of this stuff, but if you don't have a demo, it's not very important. I haven't set this yet. I don't see anything else here. Just looking through briefly. We don't have any of these features yet. Genres and tags are already set. Anti-cheat, legal. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I think we can publish it. See, preparing for release. This is probably going to say that I need to do more of this. Set up Steamworks, download the SDK, create. Oh, God, you do have to do this? Is that true? Oh, must review and approve your page. Oh. No. Man, I wasn't planning on doing this yet, at least. I think this is a task we're going to have for today. The other thing is I got an email back from the IGDB people, and they said that you've got to submit your Steam link within a week or we're going to remove your edit, whatever it is I did. Where is this? I don't even know where it is. It doesn't show up here. Yeah, I don't know. Reviews? No. Contributions? Yeah, this. It's 5 days ago, so this is gonna lapse. Status waiting for comment. How do we see this? Yeah, let us know when the Steam page is live. There's an automated message. Your changes are waiting for their input. Please review the comments above. This change will automatically be discarded in 7 days if we don't hear from you. So I would have about 36 hours, not even. And this is probably impossible at this point, even if I could click this button right this second, because Valve needs to review it. So, okay, fine. Is it for testing? Yeah, it's for testing. Okay. Well, I need to resubmit the changes. So we probably should do this today. We should probably just set up the depots and everything, right? And get a build online. But just for the sake of Valve reviewing it. Yeah, fine. Okay, well, do I have a Steam link? I already know what it will be, right? Yeah, it's whatever this link is, sans beta equals 1. So yeah, this will be the Steam link eventually. But if you go to this in an incognito tab, it doesn't do anything right now. And I have a Steam link for Skeleseller here. Yeah, no, I updated that. Oh, interesting. What do I have? This for Skeleseller? Yeah. Clever of me. Very clever of me. I already updated that. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Okay. So what does this review entail? I didn't remember this. I haven't done this in like 2 years. Maybe, no, maybe a year and a half or something. But yeah, I didn't remember this. Preparing for release. So what do they do when they review this? SDK, create your Steam build in depots. Wait, when you want to build and test is up to you. I'm a little confused by that part. Free to use as many of them as you want, create it in pricing. While you're working on getting your application up and running, you'll also be preparing store presence. Most of the work to prepare your product for release can be done yourself through the tools and documentation. Once you get close to releasing, Valve will need to review your store page, propose pricing, and game build. See review process. Isn't there some page on here that lets me see how close it is to being, for me being able to click this button? Yeah. System requirements, 5 or more screenshots. So I just need those 2 things. So I actually could submit this soon. We don't need build information here. Yeah, game build is here. This is just for the store. Okay. So we can launch this today. Maybe. Did they need to review this too? Where's that page? Review process. I don't know where that opened. Let's click it again. Game store presence and build will need to be reviewed by Valve's review team. You need to click mark as ready for review to communicate that you've completed the necessary release checklist items. Please see our release options documentation. Coming soon, early access. Yeah, that's fine. Viewing store presence, 3 to 5 business days. Store page should only contain features and content that will be available at launch. Capsule images will need to include a readable product title or logo. Screenshots must only contain gameplay. Description will need to be detailed and coherent. Okay, this is all totally fine. Yeah, all we need then are those 2 things. So that's what we'll work on. It shouldn't take very long. System requirements and 5 or more screenshots. And I think we have 4. So we just need a 5th one. Which game did I not show? Oh, loot boxes, because we don't have the finished world. I mean, we could show a picture of the title screen. It's not going to be final anyway. Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay, I'll write that down, Chili. Whew. There we go. Cool. All right, so we need another screenshot and get the Steam page online. We need a screenshot and we need the system requirements. Then submit it and wait 3 to 5 business days. Okay, I'm going to take my break right now. But yeah, this has been going pretty well so far. I'm pretty happy with this. And then we got a lot of other stuff we have to do. It gave you one result. Name has nothing to do with it. Yeah, it's probably just like close enough. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. Is it jump time? And see you, Zapu. It's jump time. Hello again, everybody. Where's my USB-C cable? Here it is. Okay. Close the game. ABC. Okay, so we need a new screenshot. We need system requirements. Is it worth trying to come up with a decent screenshot? I mean, what else would we show? Maybe like you falling behind or falling in front of the glitched code. Unlucky people. I mean, they have played a little bit more. Yeah, we could take a picture here. I don't know if this kind of ruins some of the surprise. But yeah, let's get the screenshot ready so that I don't have to not to screw this up. Yeah. Yeah, this is a pretty good screenshot, actually. I like it. Quick game. So get this screenshot into here. Yeah, this is pretty good. All right, I like that a lot. So let's go. Where did that go? I guess let's just save this. Export. Steam page. So we'll call this glitchy. And then we'll go upload it. I'm not going to include myself. Yeah, put my little streamer thing. You actually can't do that for this. But hey, faceless. All right, edit store page, graphical assets. Drag this over here. Screenshot. Such a cool feature. Yeah, I wonder if Valve's going to be like, oh, sorry, this doesn't appear in the game, so you can't use it. Like, oh, it appears in the game, all right. All right, now where do you customize the order? Yeah, I think I want this one to be last. Okay, so now we're missing one thing, and it is this. So we could pull all this from Skeleseller. Let's close all these other tabs and go back to Steamworks. Skeleseller, because I don't think anything has drastically changed here. Maybe the God, what's the word I'm looking for? Hard drive space. Maybe that would have changed, but that's not super important. Hey, Kyle. Super question. What browser are you using? Is Zen? It's Chrome. Yeah, it's just Chrome. I made a custom Chrome theme the other day, which is why it looks a little different from Chrome. And I've got vertical browsers here because it's a new feature. When is the next? Whoa, Shopkeeper Fest. Hold on a second. Registration open until January 25th. Okay, I gotta look at that. That'd be I'm made for that. Yeah. Sign up Skeleseller for Steam's Shopkeeper Fest before January 2027. Well, this was a Chrome theme. It's actually very easy to make a Chrome theme because it's just a bunch of color values. But if you want to roam it between your browsers, you need to pay $5 for the Chrome web developer something or other. Zero ear for music. Turns out, did you try making music or try playing an instrument? What is that? Are we talking about Shopkeeper Fest? It's presumably just a festival for games that are centered around being a shopkeeper or managing items. Hey, Goose. Happy Monday. Okay, so what was I here for? I was here for edit the store page, yeah. Okie dokie. So we're going to copy all of this. Let's put this over here. All right, so Windows. I'm just going to copy all of this stuff. Yeah. Disk space 350, I don't know. We'll say 400. All right, OS version 12. Says specify Apple Silicon, Intel, or both. Apple M1 or Intel Core M. Man, who's even gaming on Apple Intel computers anymore? I kind of want to just not support it and have the build be smaller. Before I say that it uses a gigabyte, let's actually just go run it and see. Oh, the age hunt thing, right? Got it. All right, take care of yourself, Meyer. Yeah, thanks for dropping by. So let's just go to some random part of the game. Let's go to here, and yeah, that's probably good. And now let's open up activity monitor. Memory. I can't show this on the screen because I full screened it. It is using 2 gigabytes. Although it's hard to tell if it's this or not. One is using 700 megabytes and one is using 2 gigabytes. If I close this, which one goes away? The 700 megabyte one. Okay, so yeah, this is using a gigabyte so far. So it's probably fine to just keep it like that is. Yeah. All right, so now we plug this in. We already have. And then 550. Yeah, let's set this to 600. Again, this is just approximate for now. We don't even have a build. And then for this, we say any, and this we do that, and this we do this one. And in being consistent with adding 50 to all of these, there we go. All right, I think we're ready to make the page. Whoops. Oh man, I clicked the wrong mouse button. My finger slipped. I think I closed that without actually saving it. No. Why didn't it warn me? Hey, you have unsaved changes. Well, it doesn't take that long to copy paste them again and add 50 everywhere, but that's unfortunate. My close tab button is right next to the left click button. And I always thought, man, this is just a little bit out of the way. I don't have to worry about that. Yes, I do. Okay, this should be 12, 1, 600, any, and this should be 350, yeah. I gotta make absolutely certain to press save this time. And that's it. Now we're ready to publish, right? Wait, why is there no image here? I wonder if I screwed something up. See checklist below. What am I missing? Planned release date. I don't have a release date. I think you're forced to pick one. Let's just pick something in 2028. When did I start this game? March or April? I think it was April. So let's just pick, I don't know, May of 2028. Sure. 9:45, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to stick with this. And say to be announced. Yeah, it's not going to be soon. It might not even be 2028 for all I know. So yeah, I think just to be announced would be good. Hey, Smash. How do you keep priorities and backlog organized to stay on track? I think with a game, it's usually pretty apparent what the next step needs to be in general. So for example, do we need more content? Do we need to balance existing content? Do we need more features? Do we need more tooling? Do we need marketing? Like at any given point, you have a gut feeling for like, oh, hey, I don't have any game yet, so let's make some games. So now we need some features, some systems. We need content for that. Then at some point, it's like, all right, well, now we need to do playtesting to make sure those features were good. So now you start doing playtesting. Okay, now we need to focus on localization or controller glyphs or something. It's kind of rare that I feel lost when it comes to prioritization. Now, with that said, the learnings from Skeleseller were, I think the biggest one is don't save all of the bad stuff for the end. So localization, control rebinding, like save slots, Steam features, so achievements, Steam Cloud, those sorts of things. Marketing to some extent. But yeah, doing all this for like 3 months in a row has like destroys my spirit. I don't want to do that again. So yeah, we started tackling that throughout, which is why we're in these stabilization phases now. Yeah. So that was my biggest learning. That's why we're doing this. That's also why the game looks a little bit more polished than Skeleseller probably did at the same time. If you look at the Skeleseller evolution video that I did, let's mute this tab, and just look at like here was checkpoint 1. This was, I don't know, maybe a month of work. So this is never going to look polished no matter what I prioritize, because I think I only did game development for this. Yeah, the game's on a blank gray background. Characters are moving all over the place. There's no pathfinding. The UI is unthemed. And then checkpoint 2, like the world looks a lot better. Characters now moving on the paths. The UI is probably still terrible. So yeah, I started going through this and slowly building out, and you can see that by the time we got to like, yeah, checkpoint 6, it's like the game looks a lot better. The UI is still a little bit rough, but it's playable. It was fun. And then, yeah, I just destroyed my psyche toward the end. So I got to write a reminder at some point. I probably don't actually need a reminder for this to like edit the Steam page release date. I imagine sometime in 2027, it's going to strike me that, when are we launching this game? So yeah, I'll just click update. That's fine. All right, so now everything should be set, right? Reminder, don't destroy Psyche. Yes, always a good reminder to have. Put it as a post-it note under your machine. Okay, we are done with everything. We don't have app icon. How do we set that? Shortcut icon. Icons used when creating desktop shortcuts. Supports ICO or PNG if other sizes are provided. Must be at least 256 by 256. Okay, we have that somewhere. I just got to find it. Yeah, here. Convert shortcut to app icon at upload time. Okay, so choose file. I want to put this over here. Upload. What happened? There was an error. Please ensure the image or icon provided is at least 256 by 256. It definitely is. It's 600 by 600. What? Upload? Yeah, what? Oh, it must be either 256 by 256 or 512 by 512. Okay, fine. So let's open this in Affinity and just do one of these and choose this. Yeah, good. All right, now if we look at it at 100% zoom, it should look pretty much identical to the last one, right? There. Yes, great. All right, export. Where did I put this? Steam somewhere? Steam assets, here we go. Okay, fave 4 256 x 256. And then so I never have to do it again. Let me put that in my other folder that I have. My games, stuck in a broken tutorial, Steam. There. Okay, now we upload it. Oh, wait, well, that was not 256 by 256. That's 512 by 512. Whoops. Okay, wrong file name. Okay. Upload. We good? Oh, this might not work because I renamed it just beforehand. Ah, there we go. Nice, we got it. Okay, so we have the app icon, we have that thing. Mac icon, website does not display it. Linux icons. Wait, so this is just for Windows? Did I do this for Skeleseller? I don't remember this. Where do we even set this? Where is this page? Installation. Where's installation? App data admin. Okay, I gotta go back. Skeleseller. I don't remember where that page even is. Yeah, I don't recall how to get here. This is what like not using this page for 2 months has done to me. Is it in this? I have no clue what I'm doing. All right, well, when in doubt, just copy the URL. So this is what I want, and we just got to put this number in here. There. Yeah, I don't remember how I was supposed to get here. App admin. I don't know where that is. All right, so we set up an app icon. It shows a whole bunch of sizes here. I'm going to assume that's correct. And I never did this. And I don't think there was a problem for this. So yeah, maybe we just don't have anything we need to do there. All right, cool. So that's done. And that's saved already, right? I think so. So now that should be checked as well, right? Trailer uploaded. Yeah, I don't have that. That's not necessary yet. Publish pricing, platform support. What's that? Oh, yeah, I don't have builds yet. Checklist complete. Cool. So mark as ready for review. Setting this product store page is ready for review. We'll add it to the queue for Valve's review team to test. Review of store pages typically takes 2 to 3 days. Process will automatically generate a support ticket that you can use to communicate with our team. Leave notes below to help expedite testing time. I included a screenshot that looks like it's not from the game, that has source code in it. This is actually in the game. I don't think there's anything else I have. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. All right, cool. We submitted it for review. Steam page pretty much done as far as we can for now. So let's close all this stuff. All right, screenshot done, system requirements done, submit done. Update title screen artwork. So what does this look like versus what do we have now? I have 3 messages on. Oh, I see. Not important stuff right now. Yeah, so the artwork changed here apparently, but how? Are these more or less the same? No, the hand is in a different position. Ah, I did not see that earlier. This is what Quickie Joe had talked about, by the way. So, I mean, he did tell me. Yeah, so I think we should replace this artwork. So let's go see where I put the existing one. UI, title screen, background, 920 by 430. So it's either this one or the other one, and they looked practically identical. I'm not going to remember which one I used. I'm trying to see if one looks better than the other for some reason. The outline around the fingers is a little different. The hair shading is different. I think this one's probably a little bit better. So let's use that. So I'll just paste this here. Whoops. It's not working for some reason. There we go. And then we'll just rename that. Copy and paste. Cool. All right, so now our title screen should look different. So we load these up side by side. We should see the 2 different hand graphics being used. Yeah. Great. Let's check that in. Use new title screen artwork. Quickie Joe provided updated art. The hand/arm position changed slightly. And probably other small details. All right, so update that. Done. Use favicon on the site and for the game executable. Yeah, so where do we put this for Skeleseller? Where does the fave icon go? Game assets icons. No, icon. Yeah, icon.png. Here it is. You know what's finally going to happen? We'll finally have in the Godot project chooser, if we go over here, we'll finally have artwork for this screen. Yeah, right now it's just the Godot icon. All right, well, we're giving this to AI because I'm not doing this. Okay. So use the attached, I'll put this on Sol for now. Use the attached image as the application icon in Godot. Get rid of what, icon.svg? I think icon.svg is the built-in one for Godot. Just make sure that's in the right location. Yep. I'd also like for this new icon to be inside game, the assets folder somewhere. Can be in a, it doesn't have to be a direct child of that folder. All right, anything else we got to do? Oh yeah, this icon should also be what each executable uses for Windows, or what each executable / application for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, nice. Let's go do that. And then we want to use it on the website as well. I got to go figure out where that website thing even is. Oh, it's inside this repo. Oh, I could have just told it then. Whoops. Where are you at? Tools, site. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Also use the icon for as the fave icon for the website. Site, SIABT web. Yeah, there. Great, great, great. So this is what we're working on now. Update art requests. Let's go take a look at that. Art requests. This is last updated now. All right, so several assets. I think we're done with this. This we're also done with. This we're done with. This we're done with. Cool. So now we just have low priority stuff, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's finished. So IGDB should probably be somewhere else on this list now, right? Yeah, put it on IGDB. I'll almost certainly need to resubmit all of these details. All right, put the Steam link everywhere. Site, Twitch panels. Yep. Yep, this is probably already listed. Oh, yeah, UTM trackers. This is even better than what I had. Maybe make a Steam UTM text expansion. Like UTM equals Adam pasted this to you. Oh my God. That'd be pretty funny. Anything else? Twitch panels, Twitch commands, put it on the website. Yeah, it's all fine. We're probably not getting this anytime soon. I always wonder what the store page review entails exactly. Like, I know what they say, and I can guess. Like, when someone actually goes through here and they look at the store page, yeah, what are they? That's not right. What are they checking for? Like, make sure that you don't have anything questionable in your screenshots. Yeah, there's not a lot of text here. Anyway. All right, so is this done? I did not start tracking my AI usage today, but AI usage 9% as of 10 a.m. And now we're down to 8%. Having it update the fave icon. And application icons. Then we got to merge the PR, and then we can get to game design, I think. Yeah, pretty solid day for me so far. Hope you're all having a good time out there. Yeah, and I guess I'll say if you need a reference for any of the application icons, I have a similar setup in the Skeleseller repo. Cool. All right, let's go look at the PR. I think this is just centering text. I'm not sure. Actually, I have two PRs. Make pendant same color as boots. Oh, I never merged this. Whoops. I think we even looked at it and I just didn't do anything. Whoops. Okay, well then it's merged Quickie Joe's PR as well. All right, let's look at Kevin's though, because that's the one I was trying to see. Center, price controls, and item display. Not much to say, mostly an anchoring offset thing. Two things to call out for these. There will be cases where the controls appear 1 pixel off center. That's fine. And I added an extra control and floating text that technically is not needed, but makes both scenarios more consistent. It would make things easier if you want to change the animation. Noise. Huh, that's strange. Yeah, that's strange. This seems wrong to me. Yeah, that seems wrong to me. Okay, but the rest of this looks good. I will have to try it out in game, of course. I want to wait for this thing to finish because I had this run locally. Probably shouldn't have done that. And then, oh yeah, I mentioned design by prototyping. I don't know how good that process would be, especially if I don't really have any great ideas yet. But I think there are some games where I kind of wanted to try it, like the Pokemon card game idea. Well, I say Pokemon-esque card game. Where is that? Sub games. Pokemon game. Yeah, this. Yeah, I might want to prototype this. It's a very simple game, though. I think, I don't know if this is accurate to say. I wonder if it's the simpler the game, the harder it is to tell on paper if it's actually going to be fun, but the easier it is to prototype. But that's probably not true. Yeah. Because complex games could be overwhelming. All right, well, is this done now? Added application icon with Godot import metadata, updated the project icon and all Windows, Mac, Steam. What about Linux? Oh, I see. Deleted game icon SVG, added matching website fave icon. How did it do that? Every time I've made a fave icon in the past, I've needed like 32 variations of it. Is that no longer like up to date web dev advice? All right, so can I refresh this? I don't know if you can. Oh, scan. Well, I'll just X out of it. I'll just reload it. Godot. No, nice. Yeah, check it out. We got our little fave icon there. It looks great. Yeah. Now we can add tags. Here we added a skeleton and a seller for seller. A skull and a bag of money. I don't know what we do for stuck in a broken tutorial. Are there any emojis that communicate that you're stuck? What happens if you type stuck? That does not. What about break? And what about broken? And what about tutorial? Okay, yeah. Just checking. I don't think we're not going to do that. I think it was a cutesy thing for Seller. All right, so I could export all of these and we could try it out. It should be pretty fast. Go burrito. Build, release. No. I just want these three. Excellent. Okay, let's let that run. Then I should go publish the website. So right now, if you go to stuckinabrokенtutorial.com, the tab icon that shows up here is very, very plain. We need it to be the new one. So give me a second. Engage privacy mode. Computer, engage privacy mode. Okay. All right, I gotta go put this online using a patented formula called dragging files. I just gotta figure out where to drag them. Stuckinabrokенtutorial.com. Here we go. Okay, now where is the website? There it is. So I need a new index. And then for assets to contain the favicon. Okay, it should be done. So if I just refresh this page, well, I guess if I press F12 and then refresh the page. Oh, nice, it worked. Cool. Cool. Yeah, very neat. And then did I write somewhere that I need the open graph images? I didn't. That's not good. Open graph. Open dash graph. No, I apparently never did. Well, that's a mistake. Put it on website, work left, Steam page, all the store, basic trailer, system requirements, playtest version. Okay, so site changes or website changes. Need open graph. Is this hyphenated? Open graph web? Open graph. It's capitalized. I didn't know that. Need open graph data and images. All right. Nice. So this is done. The builds are presumably done. Yep. Now we can go open this up and take a look. Does the app have the correct icon? It does. Love it. And I don't think Windows would show up correctly here, would it? Probably not. Oh, it does. Wow. And what about Linux? No. Yeah, no. I assume that would work on Linux, though. I guess I could test it on the Steam Deck at some point. Yeah, maybe I'll write this down. Really need to test on the Steam Deck. When I test on the Steam Deck, I should make sure that the executable icon is correct. I'm not actually certain that it works. If it doesn't, then it may mean that Skellacellers doesn't work. Well, let's go check it in. So export presets, we now have the icon. Console wrapper icon, sure, whatever. Yep. Great. Wait. No. Potentially not great. Why are there only like 4 of these? Shouldn't there be 6 exports? Preset 0 has the icon. Great, so delete that. Yeah, so Mac doesn't list the icons for some reason, but it still works. How does it know to use the... Oh, it probably uses it from the Godot settings then. Liquid glass icon. Oh, wait, no. It is listed here. Wait, what? What are we missing then? And what's all this stuff? Oh, those are the intents. So this is Linux. Linux doesn't have the icon set. No, it does. Okay, I'm confused because I thought we saw this for 4 and not for 6. But we should have it show up for 6. Here's the 4th one, I believe. Yeah. Did I just miscount? No, preset 5 doesn't have it. And we don't have a preset 6 for some reason? No, preset 0. Oh, God. Okay, let's just do this again. It's stupid and ridiculous. All right, so preset 0, we're good. Preset 1, we're good. I'm guessing both the Linux ones are messed up. Yes, they are. Yeah. So 2 and 5. Linux doesn't have any icon manifested. Well, what do we do for Skeleseller for that? FF export. So this is Mac. This is also Mac. That's Windows. There's Linux. And yeah, we don't do anything with the icon. It's probably working. I wrote down to test it anyway. Yeah, it's probably fine. I do find it a little bit weird, but yeah, maybe everything's okay. Save notification got a UID. We'll check that in separately. That's good. So check in all of that stuff. Check in the new icons. There's nothing keeping these in sync with one another. They should be exactly the same file. Should probably be some like website build step, but whatever. Okay, so add fave. Whoops, I checked in the wrong thing, didn't I? No, that's fine. Add fave icon, application icon, and fave icon. This is both in the game and on the site now. Fix UID. All right, we are at the merge PRs point. I think it's also probably pretty safe to just go use my reset now because we have less than an hour. I guess technically it's like I could use 7% of this for free. Is there any task I could give this that makes sense? I mean, I have an AI task section. I could just look at that, right? Platformer. What I did for the platformer games animation tree is not the smartest. Adam learned stuff. This is already done. Am I too late? No, you're not too late. Welcome to Patrick. All right, maybe we give it this task. Even though we only have 6 directions for animations, we should try acting like we have 8 and then setting left and right to down left and down right. Base the angle of the bullet on your facing direction, but the animation doesn't perfectly align with your facing direction. It's easiest to repro standing still but facing slightly up and to the right. Oh my God. All right. Well, both of those would be good candidates for having AI do, I suppose. I guess I should try reproing that first. All right, so I face just barely up and to the right. I can't repro this. Yeah, no, I don't know what I was talking about. Wait, we have shooting in 8 directions, right? Oh, it's a walking problem? Is this what I meant? Message killed my formatting. It's hexagonal directions. So it's like up, left, down, right, up, right. So there's no left and right. I think this is what I meant by this bug. I don't know for sure. Also, what is that? Oh, UID. I don't care about that. Well, we should probably write down to fix that. Fix UID issue on title screen. .tscn. Shoot. Let me turn off that music. Sorry. I don't know how loud this is for everybody, but it feels loud for me. Where'd those graphics go? Here. When shooting your gun, we base the angle of the bullet on your facing direction. The animation doesn't perfectly align. Easiest to repro standing still but facing slightly up and to the right. I don't think that's a bug anymore. I don't know. The only thing I can repro is... Oh, wait. Was that it? Like this happens where I'm facing up and to the right because we don't have a facing right direction and we end up shooting to the right. That's not really a big problem though. It would be a bigger problem if we saw a bullet going the wrong direction. Which I think you can do if you just like rapidly... I guess it'd be easier if I did this. I think this is causing problems, but it's really hard to tell him you have to freeze frame. So let's go watch the video. Yeah, I don't know if that's happening. Yeah, I'm gonna go take a look. Yeah, this is where I did it. Okay, whoa. Freeze frame. Okay, let's back up. I'm absorbing all the bullets. All right, so we fired this. We are facing left. The bullet doesn't actually start moving until like 2 frames later. You see that? That's very weird. Yeah, wow, I didn't even notice that. That's probably part of what's contributing to this. Oh, okay, that's the problem right there. Yeah, that's a problem right there. Hey, Mahikmar. I don't know if there's some context needed for your message. Yeah, let's take a picture of this. So, this is a problem. Where'd the video go? Here we go. So bullets don't move on the first frame, and they can use an incorrect muzzle position. Yeah, here's another instance. It's using the correct facing direction. It's using the wrong muzzle position. There's probably no easy way to fix this though. Yeah, why do they take a frame though? Interesting. Okay, so let's just give that task to AI while I do something else. In the top-down shooter sub-game. I don't have any changes right, yeah. This isn't gonna work, is it? No. The shooting, like rapidly changing directions while shooting bullets causes 2 anomalies. One is bullets are created at the muzzle position of the prior facing direction. See attached picture where the player is facing up, but was previously facing down. So the bullet got created at the downward facing muzzle position, but facing in the correct direction, up. It should have spawned from the upward facing muzzle position. And, well, I guess let's just leave it at that. Yeah. So let's do that. And then I guess likewise, we'll kick off a new one here in the top-down shooter sub game. I was looking through how bullets are fired frame by frame. And it looks like bullets don't move at all for 2 whole frames. They should probably start moving on their very first. No, very first frame doesn't make any sense. They should try to start moving on their second frame. Is that... Yeah, they should start moving on their second frame. Was I seeing this correctly? If so, tell me why it's happening and fix it. Won't they overlap and cause a conflict? They could potentially, but I don't think they will. Because I think one will only have to do with the bullet scene, and the other one will have to do with the player scene. But if they do, I mean, we'll just fix the merge conflict. This is more to just use the remaining AI quota that I have. But I don't plan on looking at either one of those right now. We are instead going to go over to the price control one. So let's go take a look at what this is right this second. This is inside the loot boxes game. We have incorrectly centered floating text. So I open a chest, I get customers, and we set a price for this, and then slow it down. Okay. So yeah, they buy something, and it is not centered to the... Oh, let's close on this. And it's not centered to where they purchased it. And Kevin, I believe, has fixed this. So let's go test it out. This is 36 GHPR checkout 36. Let's test it out. Holy cow. Hang on a second. I'll be right back. I'm really sorry. Yeah. Um, yeah, we're testing the loot boxes thing. There was a tiny emergency that happened. All right, we just need customers to come by and try to buy this. Okay, so this is the bug that I noticed in a code review. This should be very easy to fix. This somehow got set to negative 1.7. I don't think it's supposed to be. Although I'm not positive that that's what the problem is. Yeah, this. I think this is supposed to just be 0, though. Let's try that out. Also, hey, Qs. I gotta have some faster way of testing this. Actually, I guess we do have a faster way. It's just grant most things and then just set a price of something. Come on, buy something. No, it's still spawning much higher up. I don't know what that time controlled then. Should have been... Wait, what did that time control? Oh, it's in the floating text scene. Oh, wait, it's floating money text. Yo, thank you for the resub. Happy 78 months. Wow. Kind of crazy. I think you're at one of the highest resub times. Maybe someone's in the 80-month range. I'm not sure. Which would mean that we have like somewhere around 2 years before people get to the triple digits. Kind of crazy. All right, so the animation player used to have an incorrect time for one of these. That is now fixed. But the Y position starts at -15 and rises to -30. I don't think I want it to be that high up. So I think we set this to like -5 and -20. I think I missed 2 months. Yeah, so like 80 is probably the highest one now. But yeah, how have you been? Oh, and is this done? You saw it correctly. Try shooting on next frame. Waited for 2 process frame before creating and applying impulse. Okay, so we gotta check that in. And what about this one? Oh, this is pretty much the exact same thing happening twice. So they were related. So this is, instead of 2 awaits, we now have 1. And this is... Let's just try shooting. All right, well, I'm going to reset this before I lose the ability to do this. So yeah, let's go trigger this. I still have 6% remaining, but it doesn't matter. Use reset. Now you get to watch the little animation here of the bar filling up. Nice. And I'll write that down. 6%. Use last bank to reset to get back to 100%. All right, so that is now expired. And the next reset is, so it should say on the web page, right? Oh, it doesn't. I got to actually use it first. Okay, yeah. Started working at the office at the start of August. Asked for internal transfer. Nice. You like your coworkers? What's your lunch routine out of curiosity? Do you eat with your coworkers? Do you eat on your own? Do you eat in the office? Do you go somewhere? Yeah, what did this used to be? I don't see it in here at all. Yeah, I don't see it. There should be a track here that was controlled. Oh, maybe it was always -15 and -30, so it didn't change. But then why does it look like it's in the wrong spot? Huh. Oh, let's just run it again. Great lunch at the office. I eat there pretty much every day. Yeah. Cool, 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 cool. Yeah, I think there's something to be said for getting along with your coworkers and maybe feeling more motivated as a result. Is this better? I still want this to be lowered down. Maybe by another 5 pixels. So we just set this to be 0. And well, that's not how you write 0. 0, and then this to be -15. And then we just merge that. All right. Customers, come buy something. Yeah, I think that looks better now. So now when you have a lot of item displays, it'll be closer to where they purchased the item. And it's centered with the item display. So if we... Yeah, let's just go grant ourselves a bunch of things and we'll just watch. Yeah, I'll just click everything. There. All right, so will they buy that for 3,000? I'll just lower it to 2,000. Yeah, they did. And that looked pretty centered. Yeah, I think it's good. Might even want it to be a little bit lower. Yeah. I think I do. I need to know what this used to look like. Yeah, let's take a picture right now of them buying something in the second row. There we go. Okay. What are we doing now? We're going to go into this and take a look at what we used to have for this. Thankfully, I'm exporting this with cheats. So I can just get right back here. Really should have made a grant everything that just gives you every single perk. Maybe without price warnings. There. Okay, turn this down. Okay, wait. I need to take a picture of that. Okay, so here is the new one, and here is the old one. So how do they compare in terms of Y coordinate? Yeah, this is higher up. You can see the bottom of the one, the outline there is maybe like 3 pixels higher than the base. And here it's 1 pixel higher, maybe. AC17R. I probably look focused because my mind is still on why I had to step away from my computer. Nothing's like wrong. No one's hurt. Well, something's wrong, but no one's hurt. But it's gonna cause a gigantic headache, this little emergency that happened. Yeah. All right, so we could control this through here. Or we could potentially move where this thing spawns. Yeah, I think we'll just control it through here. So we'll do -4 and -19. How's it going, Z17R? All right. Let's just watch them with this first row, and maybe I'll go get like one other one. Buy something. Buy it. Buy it, buy it, buy it. Yeah, I think that's probably better. Now, how does it look when they're on the second row? Oops, wrong thing. I need more treasure than this. There. Okay. I'm needing to buy something on the second row. No, I didn't click fast enough. It's even higher up? What? What did I do? It's like I'm not controlling this at all. Yeah, I said it's a -4. I wanted to add to this? -11? I guess so. Yeah, I think it's better. There. We just need items to be in that second row. There we go. Now I can see how they overlap now. And then we take a picture. Come on. Come on. Okay. I might have taken that just a touch too soon, but I think that's good. So cool. I'm happy with this. Yeah. So this is adjust floating text downward. I wanted it to spawn closer to the item display so that when there are multiple rows of displays, it's obvious which floating text was associated with which item display. Or maybe just which item display the floating text was associated with. Yeah. Okay, so commit that. Now push this back to Kevin. And then go check out the PR. So now we should see one more commit here. Yeah. Looks good. I modified the Y coordinate of the text to lower it a bit. Think of tasks for Kevin. All right. Where are we at now? So now we have the one other PR we have left to look through. So I want to delete these things, right? Yeah. And we should have no change for this. We do, apparently? I want to revert that. Get switch main. Get pull. Why is this happening? Because I forgot to push my thing first. All right. But now I gotta force push. No, I did not need to force push. All right, I'm gonna do this when I come back from the break. I gotta clear my mind a little bit more. I'll be back in just a little bit. Plus, I've been snoozing the ads for like 10 minutes or something. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, hello again. Close the game. All right, so let's go check this out. GHPR checkout 34. This should be almost entirely testable within the art tool. So I'm just gonna run the art tool. What's it called? Colorize? Yeah. And I think the only graphics that changed are all platformer graphics. Yeah. So yeah, we can test it entirely in this tool. We just switch to here. All right, so what we're looking at is if we change the boot color, it should now change the pendant color. So I'm gonna make it just something super obvious, yeah. And let's go frame by frame and make sure everything's good. Yep, cool. All right, any others? Normal hit, yeah. Yeah, that already, I don't think we need to go frame by frame. Already looks fine. Idle. Yeah, looks fine. Double jump forward. I think this only shows at the beginning. Yeah, nice. Double jump vertical. Yep. Yeah, I don't see anything unusual here at all. Nothing there. Run. I think we went through the whole thing. I don't know if I clicked this 20 times. Hey, Oogly. 1 year follow-versary. Nice. Thanks for being here for a year. Hey, Sound, did you make that character? No, I don't do any artwork. Yeah. This is done by Mara Kintsugi. And then Quickie Joe changed the artwork a bit. We removed the horns, changed the hairstyle a little, and something else. And then set of colorization. Yeah. All right, run start. From idle, that's all fine. What other ones do we have? Just this one, walk. Yep, pendant looks fine. Okay, cool. So now I guess we should try it in the game really fast. Excuse me. Oh man, that came on suddenly. Let's look at the pack. Okay, so yeah, here. So if we customize the pendant. Nice. You could make it blend in with a shirt. Yes, now you can't even really see it. Kind of funny. You can also make it black. Hey, Ellie. The same idea for names? Oh, hey, it's Sound, and hey, it's Ellie. I was like, I don't see the similarity between mine and yours. Yeah. Welcome in. Okay, so then there's one other tiny issue here. Maybe, I mean, you could consider this an issue or not. And technically, this is already a problem. This is customizing her boots and shorts. And now it's also customizing the pendant. So, like, do we put smaller arrows pointing at these other little things that are being customized? I don't think I want to point out the shorts. I think it's obvious enough. But it's by the way, it's clear when you're doing this that it's customizing the pendant, right? Like you can see it right there. But we're only pointing an arrow at the boots. I don't know what to think about that. Do we want to point an arrow at the pendant on the character customization screen to indicate that you're changing more than the boots? I don't think I want to point at the shorts. What are you on day 79 of exactly? What you doing right now? I am making a game called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial, and I'll show it in just a sec, but I need to merge this first, so give me 1 sec. This should be as easy as, yeah. Thank you very much for doing this. This looks great. This looks great. I mean, it does look great. I know it was like modifying a couple pixels here and there, so it's not quite the same as making all this from scratch, but he saved me a lot of time because it would have taken me a lot longer. All right, get switch main, get pull, get show off to Ellie. Yeah, I think we're good now. Yeah, okay, cool. So should be able to show this. So yeah, day 79 is day 79 of stream days. So it's actually been about 4 months now of working on this. Yeah, the game's called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. And let's delete one of our save slots here. So yeah, you can customize your character. I'm just gonna skip through this. Just randomize a bunch of colors. You start in a tutorial for a platformer here. And you work your way through this, learning some really simple controls until you make it to here, where it says try to collect the diamonds in one go. you can't, and you fall, and you go through the source code of the game into this world. That's so cool. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's very cool. And you end up in a totally different game. So yeah, this is the foundation of the game. It is going from sub game to sub game, trying to figure out like what's going on here. What is this game about? Like, what are you doing? How do you break out of this? Hey, Tony. Showing the code is really creative. Yeah, that was my friend's idea. I can't take credit for that one. But I mean, he's also a game developer. I think actually showing the game to game developers has been a good idea because I've gotten some pretty good ideas. In fact, I wonder if I should do more of that. I should probably write that down. Anyway, so now you're in a farming game, and there's a lot of like goofy stuff about this game in particular. Some things work how you'd expect. Like you can sickle up grass and you can dig and you can plant and you can water, but then other things do not work how you'd expect. So if you try using your axe on one of these trees, you instead just throw it. You unlock the ability to run, and now when you try to get your axe, it cuts down all the trees in your path and runs away from you. So you can't actually get it again. But you can dig up anything now. So you can dig up trees, you can dig up fences, you can dig up parts of your house. So I work my way over to here. We can get rid of our furniture. We can get rid of our chimney. We can plant seeds in our house. So there's just a lot of like goofy stuff in this game. And the thing I just added yesterday, which I am super happy with. So normally you are supposed to talk to this NPC and this NPC, and then this sidekick comes over, and I'm gonna speed this up, and he tells you a whole bunch of stuff. And let's skip this. So now you're supposed to, I'm speeding through all this because I just want to get to the funny thing that I did. You're supposed to put these strawberries in the trash cans here, and you get a key out of it. And they say, hey, the only locked door I've seen is in the community center, so follow me. They lead you to the community center, and you're supposed to use this key on the door. But the shovel, as we saw, can dig up practically anything. So you can actually dig out the door here. At which point the key is worthless, and you can throw it on the ground. And I just love that idea. Blowing up a key when you throw it down. Should have seen his April Fool's scam one year. Yeah, that was my idea, and that was quite intense. How long have you been developing for? Is the purpose of this game to train yourself for lots of different game types? Developing this game for, it's been about 4 months. Developing in general, it's been like most of my life. The point of this game is to sell it on Steam. So it's not to train myself or anything. This is like the game. And I've run it by a bunch of playtesters, and they all said it was pretty fun so far. It's been 9 different people over the course of the development of the game. I'll eventually probably open it up, but I haven't done it yet. And yeah, some of the games are actually like legitimately fun. Like this one, let me get down to where this is like an endless runner style game where you get power-ups and you go over these like dash pads and get coins. I immediately hit that. Yeah. The more coins you have, the faster you move. And the farther you make it in the dungeon, the more power-ups you get, which makes it easier to get coins and easier to move quickly. Let me just get to like one of the first treasure chests at least. Here we go. This is, yeah, boots. So now I can dash. Whoop. What's that? Yeah, anyway, so some games will be fun, some games will be funny, some games will just have some story and plot. And probably make another like 10 to 15 of those games. And then yeah, we'll see where we stand. Ooh, nice level of boots. Okay, I gotta stop doing this. Should make the community building door an achievement for those who try it on a whim. The problem with achievements is that there are crazy people out there who need to get the achievements. So when they can't get them, they look up a guide or they get frustrated and leave a negative review. So I've got to make sure that achievements are just like, I don't know, pretty basic, or like you go a little bit out of your way to do. But yeah, one of the problems with it making an achievement like that is you'd probably want to make it hidden. So you'd name it something like "you threw the key," and people would be like, "What? How do I do that?" They wouldn't know to dig up the door, so they look up a guide and they're like, "Oh, the joke's already ruined for me." So I think it's only funny if you discover it on your own. So I don't think I'm gonna put an achievement for that. Yeah. Well, languages, considering you've been deving nearly your whole life, you picked up a lot of different ones or gotten really good at only a handful. Yeah, I have a bunch of commands for things like this. The languages thing, this game's developed in C#. The prior one I did was C#. The one before that was a lot of like JavaScript and HTML. Or the biggest one before that, at least. But yeah, I'm generally most proficient in whatever language I'm using at the moment, which is C#. Never thought about how you choose what is an achievement or not. Yeah, because I had, for the prior game I made was called Skella Seller. And we have, what, like 20 something achievements for this game? And there are a couple here that kind of angered people. And this is a perfect example of one, like the throwing the key thing. There's a bird in the game that you would just click a few times and it would go and get eaten by another creature. And it's a hidden achievement, and apparently 20% of people got it. But the people who didn't get it were kind of annoyed that they had to go back and do it. And it's like, it's just, to me, it's just an achievement. It's like, oh, so what if I didn't get it? Oh, is this broken? I think this is actually wrong. I think we're using the wrong icon here. Actually, probably several of these, right? Oh, no. Is this to indicate that I got these? It might be. Is there a way to look at this without being logged in? Yeah. Okay, never mind. Then I don't think there's a problem here. Hey, Smart. Trying so hard to satisfy everyone. He'll be soul crushed. Those knights, for example, are 4 to 5 melee hits. The moment someone didn't expect that, they'll go with the usual, I had to go to the wiki. I think, I mean, I agree with the general premise of you can't please everyone, but I think the important part here is that people who hunt for achievements are more vocal than people who don't. And the people who don't care, it's not going to be a problem for them if there aren't, 5 more achievements in the game or something. So in this way, we are trying to please kind of as many people as possible and not bother the people who are vocal about it. But the knights taking 5 hits to kill, you also get the boots, which make them die faster, and bombs are 1 hit. And boots are like 2 to 3 hits. And you could just avoid them. They're slower than the other characters. So yeah. All right, so this is done. This is done, right? I did, yeah. Fix UID issue on the title screen. That should be dead simple. Let's go do that really fast. Title screen. There, that should be it. Yeah. Fix UID issue on title screen. Okay, so the character customization screen, I still did not figure out what exactly I wanted to do about this. Well, actually, I have another problem too. In fact, we probably got to revamp the whole thing. But right now we have this zoomed in view. I was always bothered by games like, I really like Stardew Valley, but something I don't think Stardew Valley did very well was the character customization screen. I think Terraria kind of has the same problem. So if you look at the picture here, if you zoom in enough, like let's say it's this big, you can see the eyes, you can see the hair color, you can see whatever else. But if you're playing on, I don't know, maybe, I don't know how big this shows up in the game. If you're playing on like the Switch, for example, it's like the screen is much smaller. You can't even really tell what you're customizing necessarily. So that's why I put this zoomed in view here. I was like, oh, no matter what screen size you're on, you can definitely see this. This is zoomed in like 16 times whatever your character is supposed to be. But it's pretty large over here too, and it takes up like half the screen. So we probably don't need this view, and people aren't really expecting this view. So I mocked up how this could look if we got rid of it. Well, mocked up, I just did it. And then ended up deleting it afterward. But yeah, this picture. So if I copy this into here. So this is where the zoomed out view deleted, or zoomed in view deleted. I just made the color section take up the whole screen. But something that Kevin had commented on when he had played was he kind of wanted there to be labels for what you're customizing. And we have a bunch of space now, so we could put that in. We could say like hair. But actually, we could just put a label here, right? Where's the text tool? I'm still so bad at Affinity. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So we could say something like hair. I never want to use art programs. And then how do I change the color of this? There, at least that was easy. Okay, yeah. So we could put this here. And then maybe put like the L and R buttons to the side of it. That could work. And then we don't need the text technically at the bottom. I guess if you're using the keyboard, it might look a little bit weird because it would show Q hair E. Or we just leave this at the bottom here. I think having glyphs would be kind of nice. And then for the boots, we could just say boots and pendant. Yeah. I think that's probably the way we go about doing this. Maybe show name player or the part you're customizing. Yeah. We could put the part name or the selection name above the color sliders. We could even put the control information inside that section if we wanted. But I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, I think having the information at the bottom is fine if we're consistently doing that. And at least for these screens we are. It says escape, return to title screen. On the control rebinding screen. No, never mind. Doesn't show anything on the bottom of that. I guess it's just that then, right? Yeah, I guess it's just that. Do you do that anywhere else? I guess in the loot boxes game we do. Down here, well, bottom of the screen. It's not bottom of the screen. It's bottom of the dialogue, though. Yeah. Now we also put a colon there. Do we do that over here? Yes and yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we can do that later. Oh, yeah. And I want to write this down, the selection thing, right? We should probably put like boot slash pendant or boot slash misc to make it obvious you're controlling multiple things. Or maybe we add a smaller arrow pointing at the pendant. All right, well, we're getting rid of that for now. All right, so game design, prototyping, etc. I also want to kick off my... Wait a second. That banked reset worked differently from how the other ones worked, right? It's supposed to keep your reset time the same. It changed my reset time. So I got to kick something off here. I don't really have anything I want to do. Okay, this is done. UID tool, we did that. Portraits of dialogue. Figure out checkpoint 3. Automating tests. Set up domains. Yeah, there's still so much. Oh my god. Press 18 to use bomb. I think as a joke, it could be funny. I think as a game mechanic, we got to think of like what's the actual game this is going into. Because we had that Fever Dream game where it says press jump to broccoli, where we did it in the other direction. A nonsensical action, but an actual button that you could press on your controller. And I think what would be coolest about that is if we had any glyphs that would never show up. So glyphs like this exist, but for example, over here, I think there's a GameCube controller. Yeah. So if we just go to, I don't know, this. Yeah. So I think this would be funny if you recognized GameCube controls and you're like, wait a second, a C stick, like that hasn't been on a controller in forever. But if you don't know this, then you're just like, what is that? And maybe you think, oh, this stands for control stick or something, and it's not even a joke to you. And then you're just confused. So yeah, we need to probably have some like wacky alien glyph here that makes it clear that like there's no way you'd ever press this. Yeah. All right. Anything here? Oh, set up save slots. Here we go. Yeah, when you go to quit the game, it should say how many minutes passed since the last save point right in the dialogue. I always hate when games say you may have unsaved data without you knowing how much. Probably shouldn't even pop up a dialogue if the number of minutes is fewer than 2. That's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Yeah, press Adam art to use. You're like, oh, I add that emote on Twitch. Then they go press it and it does the thing in the game. Just got to set up that entire connectivity. We divine their account name. Yeah, so I kind of like this idea. Use some incorrect key binding. Probably too hidden to be practical. Yeah, I do want there to be UI jank that steers some of this. So for example, I thought of an idea. I think it was in the shower the other day. I think of everything in the shower. Where the title screen could like fall from the top of the screen in a different game. And you have to walk over to the quit game button to leave the game you were in. I think that could be really interesting. Or like if it's in the farming game, you like dig out the quit button and you get sucked into a vortex that puts you into the Architect's realm. I think those things would be cool. Hey, weird dudes. Quick random question. When you finish tasks, do you keep track of the finished ones or just delete it? I just delete it. Yeah. I used to use as something sort of like org mode in Emacs. It was called plain tasks and then it was called to do plus. And there was an archival feature for this. It infrequently turned out to be valuable, but it was infrequent enough where I didn't think it mattered too much. So now what I try to do is at least commit messages should hopefully point at whatever I might need or other notes that I might have. But yeah, for this sort of thing, it's like I have 21 pages of to-do items right now. And over the course of the next 2 months, I'll probably make another 10 pages of to-do items. Now, technically, there's document history, so I could go into version history, but this is unmanageable. It's just practically impossible to use. Let me do this off screen so I can show you. Well, let me do it off screen so I can make sure there's nothing that you shouldn't see in here. Yeah, okay, this is fine. But yeah, you can see it's like in order to scroll back by, let's say, 2 months, like look at what's happening. I'm scrolling down. It's at August 6th so far. So still scrolling down, still scrolling down. There might be a way. No, there's no way to change this. And you can name particular versions if you know you're going to want to keep something, but you can only have so many named versions. So even then, it's like it'll ask you to delete them at some point. Yeah, I just don't think it's worth the hassle. All right, so yeah, what do I think about this idea? When you go to quit the game, it should say how many minutes have passed since the last save point right in the dialogue. So you choose quit game. It says something like, you have X minutes. The prior X minutes haven't been saved. The game auto saves at particular points. Only at specific points. Are you sure you want to quit? Do you have a post or video on your streaming setup? What mic is that? I think I do. Yes, there it is. And hey, code. Yeah, I don't think this is like a... Yeah, this is not a very long video or anything. I've got a picture of my room. Is this still pretty much what this looks like? More or less. I just did change mice. I now use a SwiftPoint Z3. But that was like a week ago. I really like this mouse, by the way. But yeah, keyboard's the same, camera's the same, lighting's the same, chair's the same, green screen's the same. Yeah. Yeah, that video is still pretty up to date. All right, I do think I like this idea. Prior X minutes haven't been saved. And like, don't show this on debug builds. Okay, I think I want to do this. Quit or cancel. Yeah, all right. Let's have this thing. I'll just paste this all in here for now. This is just to trigger my AI usage. I don't even really want to do this task right now. Yeah. I just don't want to waste this either. And then we're going to switch to game design, although I'm also going to switch to lunch pretty soon. It's your best quick tip for when you feel scatterbrained and have to start distilling a very wide, multidimensional topic for colleagues in a presentation after 1 to 2 weeks. Honestly, the best thing you can probably do is just delete all stimuli. So like stare at a wall for a couple minutes. Yeah. Separate from that, I think going on a walk and like being away from devices. And third is taking a shower. I find shower thinking is very high quality thinking. So yeah, any of those things. Basically, it's get away from devices, get away from constant attention destroying stimuli. I swim. Yeah, swimming would be great. Exercise. Really, kind of anything that takes you away from a computer or looking at a screen. Okay. When you go to quit the game, I want to potentially spawn a dialogue asking if you're sure. So this dialogue should only spawn if you have at least 3 minutes of unsaved data. When you go to quit the game through the pause menu, only through the pause menu, not through clicking the X on the window or pressing something like Alt F4. All right, the text in the dialogue should be you want to quit. The choices in the dialogue should be quit/cancel. Cancel should be focused by default. And don't show this. Don't show this dialogue on debug builds because it'd be super annoying for me. Or maybe raise the debug time to be 20 minutes of unsaved data. Yeah. On debug builds. So feature flags is debug. Feature flags dot is debug equals true. Raise this amount of time to 15 minutes so that it doesn't constantly bother me as a dev. All right, I think it's pretty nice. Should be a reset by the end of the day. Maybe, I think the news might be about banked resets and how they'll become viable, and that the new reset might be a banked one that they give. There's so many different directions to take the topic, and they all seem equally important. Yeah, I think the first step, once you get to collecting your thoughts, is brain spew followed by some amount of like editing or sifting, and then an outline, and then maybe prioritization from that outline. So like, if you just said like, hey, I want to, I don't know, buy a house. I'd be like, okay, we should probably talk about things like cost, and what about availability, and commute might matter, and walkability, and I just spew out a bunch of things, and I'm like, okay, cost. Let's see, how do you compare cost with other places? I don't know, what are financing options or loans or mortgages or whatever. I might write all that stuff out. Availability, I don't know, to talk to an agent or something. And then from there, I might be like, okay, who's my audience? What do they want to know? What do they already know? And how do I give them that information that they need to know? So yeah, it's like a big funnel. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I go to codexresets.com every once in a while, and yeah, previously promised a reset for every 1 million additional active users. We blew past that and have been silent. A little surprise for you tomorrow. So I think it'll be a banked reset, because he did a performative reset on Saturday and then one again on Monday. And then everyone had a banked reset that just expired, or most people had one that just expired like 14 minutes ago. So yeah, I would hope that they don't just reset it again, but it could be another performative one, because it's like, I could probably burn through a whole bunch and hope that it's a regular reset, but whatever. I'll just do this one thing. Now, there's another way of doing the quit and cancel dialogue. You could have it be that pressing the confirm button will always choose quit, and pressing the cancel button will always choose cancel. Also, pressing the cancel key binding on your keyboard or controller To cancel out of this dialogue. Yeah. This string should be stored in .po files, meaning you should run the localization flow. Okay, let's just do that. That's good enough. All right, now game design. So we had a whole bunch of things. There is my greatest foe, my greatest rival is the, what is it called again? I don't even know my foe's name. Tiny Swords Tower Defense. I've purchased this. I have not come up with a broken game for it. I want to come up with a game for this. But maybe this is the wrong way to pursue this. And maybe I should pursue this from the point of view of just what are games we can do and not what are the asset packs we want to use. And yeah, I hope it helps Galaxy Inferno. Yeah, clear brain before brain spew, before outline, etc. You think using Codex and Godot is more streamlined than Claude and Godot? I don't think it should matter too much. I used Claude for about a month. It seemed pretty good. Codex seems pretty good. Yeah. There are knockback towers and you push a unit off the map and the game crashes. I guess we could have this whole thing be the setup for a joke. Like there are mechanics and you can interact with them and you can do tower defense, but you're supposed to just like push all the towers into the water. Maybe it's a game about like like nature coming back into full force. So like you harvesting this stuff, you got to stop things from harvesting. You got to like grow a bunch of sheep. I mean, that's an interesting idea. Where's the last time I looked at this? Tiny Swords again to the third. From that idea, I was thinking that we could make this more of a joke game. Like the farming game. There are mechanics, but you don't really have to interact with them. The goal could be to allow for ecological succession and like restore the land. You push the towers into the water. You stop harvesting trees and gold and sheep. And maybe like, yeah, maybe this is why you need to keep enemies away. You can sell unintended things, kind of like shovel thing with different flavor. Yeah. Yeah, I got to think about this because I want it to be distinct from the farming game. And the idea, like, I think farming games in general, you probably heard me say this, are like long-term games. Because you don't consider something like Fruit Ninja as, it's not a farming game. But Fruit Ninja is a short-term game that involves fruit, and you could sort of consider it like vaguely farming adjacent at that point. But it's fun in short sessions. I don't think farming games are fun in short sessions if there is no long session. Like, could you play Stardew Valley for 10 minutes and be like, wow, that was an awesome game, and put it down and never come back to it? Probably not. Probably no one ever does that. Probably they play the game and they're like, oh, I want to develop my farm, or I want to, whatever, romance the villagers or get items or fight things. So this is a tower defense facade, at least. And like tower defense games are fun in small doses. Or I should say like can be fun in small doses. Whereas, yeah, like there doesn't need to be a like an 8-hour arc to them. Enemies only come if there's something to destroy. Selling everything stops spawning units. Yeah, so the general direction would be we present some mechanics, but those mechanics get turned upside down. And the way we turn them upside down should be funny. And this is generally fitting with the philosophy of the game. So I think this is like along the lines of a good idea. I think we need to still think about this and refine this a little bit more. feel so stressed. A lot of people comment on that sort of thing, having the time pressure, even though there's no like year pressure. Your character doesn't grow old and die, for example. So you could technically play for like 10 years of real time and your file would still be going, short of any bugs. But yeah, some people just don't do well with that. And I'm very much like an optimizing personality, and it does feel like, okay, I'm constantly doing a chore almost, even when the game is fun. And I have a lot of fun playing Stardew in general. I'm not saying it's a bad game or anything. It's just, yeah, your persona sort of dictates how you interact with the game. Don't feel so pressured. I haven't played Coral Island. Let me see. Yeah, I haven't played this game. Man, farming games sure got a lot of entries in the genre, huh? The things that happen after 3 years in the games, time being irrelevant is not quite true. I thought there was some like forgiveness mechanic about that, and I thought that that was just one thing that was mostly. Let me take a look at this. I know what you're talking about. Evaluation. Reevaluate at any time. Okay, yeah, there is a way to re-trigger that. So I don't think there's anything that is time locked completely. I think you can always go and get everything if you missed it. Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean, Galaxy Inferno. Only makes mayo. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, going back to this. So yeah, there could be a tower defense game playing out. We break this in some interesting way. And I've been talking about this before. I think I was very focused on the mechanics of like how would you control the game? Because part of the importance of this is your identity is this person, player. And in all of these games, you are a player. In this one, I guess you could be as well. But if you're placing towers and you're like commanding units, you're like the army general who is not present in this scene. So it wouldn't be clear that you're still player, but I mean, that's how some video games work, right? Like, who are you in StarCraft 2? And maybe that's explained. I don't actually know, but you're like the hive mind, or you're like the adjutant or whatever. But yeah, you don't show up in the game. But I don't think it's a problem, I guess. Yeah, I don't think it's a problem. Weren't there other screenshots if you turn this into mobile mode? Yeah, here. So you command an army. I mean, this idea of like, don't fight, we've kind of talked about before too. The getting towers to go into the water. Maybe you could just build on the water. Is there something to that? Maybe there's like a map editor mode. Brainstorming some random ideas for a new game. So sort of, the only non-randomness here is that like I paid for this pack. You can see it says I purchased this 40 days ago because it was on sale and I had a pretty good feeling we could use it, but I did not come up with a game for it. So there's this pack, there's this pack, and I really like the artwork for both of these. And there are some other packs that I got too that I have a better idea of what I'm going to do for those. But yeah, like I want to come up with games for these. And they've got to fit into Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. So they've got to be a game that's broken in some way. I mean, the tutorial part you can apply to practically any game, so that's not usually too bad. But they got to be broken in some way, and we got to figure out, like, is it broken in a funny way? Is it broken in a mechanical way that makes it a little bit different? We've got a lot of prior art in this sense, and I want to make sure it's not too similar to any of those. So as an example here, in this game, turn the sound down just a little bit. So in this game, it's a top-down shooter. You can blast open these crates. Oh, I never checked in the... Hang on a second. I gotta write this down. I'll get back to what I was doing as soon as I write this. I didn't even look at the Codex conversations about the top-down shooter. I need to apply some changes from there. Okay, anyway, this game... yeah, normal top-down shooter. You got some enemies here. There's like a dungeon. But when you die, so like see at the top left, I have a couple of stats that I had gotten. When you die, these get cleared out. and the game tells you you died, you don't keep your upgrades, here's something to get you going again. The thing is, this is lying to you, and this is lying to you. So if I grant myself like 5 of each upgrade and then die, like, let's do this. All right, so take a look at how fast I'm moving, take a look at how fast I'm shooting. I'm shooting larger bullets than before. Crates are getting blown up in one hit. If I die here, all these stats that I collected look like they go to 0, but they actually don't. So that is how this game is broken, and it's broken in the like power fantasy way of, yeah, by the time you get to the boss room, you were like ripping through the enemies here because you've just gotten so many power-ups and nothing can hurt you anymore, and you're getting like a million more power-ups and you're just like super powerful, right? So this idea is more mechanically broken. It's not funny. You wouldn't say it's funny that, oh, your stats got reset. It's just lying to you. And you eventually realize, because you're like, I don't remember shooting that fast to begin with. I don't remember walking that fast to begin with. I don't remember killing enemies in one hit. So we got to make sure not to do the same thing in every other game that we make. And yeah, that's part of the problem here. And another part of the problem is like, what's fresh and unique and fun that works with this set of assets. So if we wanted, I was kind of mentioning this before, if we wanted like flying enemies, we don't have flying enemies. So it's not that we can't make the graphics, but I'd like to not do that. So like, okay, flying should not probably be part of this game because we don't have any enemies that look like they're flying here. So that's another consideration here too. And this is probably what we'll spend most of the afternoon on, is just designing games and trying to figure out like, what do we want to do? Because right now we're in a stabilization phase. I set up the Steam page, I set up the website, I got controller rebinding working, I made save slots. I'm doing all this stuff that is not like fun game tasks, but is necessary. And at some point we have to get back to fun game tasks so there's more game for people to play. This idea of like get rid of all of the town and go back to just nature. I wonder, you could control a tree or something. That'd be kind of interesting. Control the tree. I mean, it'd be pretty obvious it's you. Huh. What else do we have here? We have the towers. We have some of the resources. We got some other buildings, I believe. UI elements, enemies, and somewhere there are particle effects. I don't think any of the particle effects would probably make sense for this, right? Yeah, explosion, fire, some kind of like poof to disappear, and splashing in the water. Maybe that's how this is surfaced though. Like maybe there are seeds you plant to grow trees, but you think as a player that it's just to collect wood, but this is actually how you beat the game, by reforesting the entire island and then the world. It could turn into like Minecraft or something where you place blocks to travel to other islands. I mean, this is hefty in scope. Also, yes, allow this. Unsaved quit thing, we have that listed down here already, yeah. And I'm still not sold on this. I'm trying to think about it in terms of like, if this were just a tower defense game, don't care, just a tower defense game, you would start, we would instruct you on how to build a tower. Maybe the tower auto produces units, or building. I don't know. The building auto produces units that go and attack. This could be based on your gold or wood income. You may have to command workers to do certain tasks. No, reforesting. I think it's doable to make commercial games using prepaid assets. I always thought this would turn people down, but I guess it can work. I think it depends on how you do it, but I think the classic problem with trying to get prepaid assets is that it's almost never sufficient for a game. So let's say we go to, why do I never remember what this is? Game assets. Okay, so let's say you wanted to make a game using this. So you've got a character behind a desk here. You've got some opening doors and cabinets and whatever. It's like, okay, now this could suffice for your town, your village. Maybe you've got some museum collection mechanic here, but like there are 5 skeletons you see here. What if you want like 40 different ones? What if you want 50 different ones? Like what if this is Animal Crossing and you needed to fill an entire museum? Like, do you have those graphics? And like, let's say you want to add battling to this. Like there's no animation for holding weapons or something. So you almost always need to supplement an asset pack that you get. And this is what I did for Skeleseller. So like we started with Super Retro World, and then Quickie Joe drew a bunch of custom artwork for this. So in this screenshot, the tavern is custom artwork. All of the fish are custom artwork. The UI is custom. The chef slime is custom. The skeleton there is custom. And I think this is a combination of some existing assets, and this is just like one picture, like the ogre's custom, the portraits here are custom, the UI here again is custom. So yeah, in order to make this, it was, I'd say, more custom art than it was asset pack art. And it's a little weird and stuck in a broken tutorial because we're really making like 15 games. So what I've been doing is I've been designing games to what we have for the asset packs. So as an example, we had this dungeon gathering pack here. This has characters that can walk. It's got some water. It's got some buzzsaws and whatever else. But there's no animation for shooting a bow. There is a bow. There's no animation for it. So like we didn't add that in the game. But if you were making a Legends of Zelda style game, you almost certainly want like I'm shooting a bow, I'm throwing a boomerang, I'm whatever, throwing a bomb. We have bombs. I just never put an animation in the game for it. So yeah, we can tailor the games to what we have for assets and reduce the art burden in that way. And I think it's kind of like a privilege of this game to be able to do that. But yeah, if I were working on, whatever, an RTS, let's say, it's like you wouldn't be able to do that. You need all the units, all the attack animations, all the buildings, all the terrain. So you're putting down buildings. I guess you're deciding, yeah, we have some basic strategy layer presented to you that you can engage with. At some point, we turn this upside down in a number of ways. You're rolling X. Couldn't AI generate missing animations? It could potentially. My own philosophy for this is that I'm trying not to use AI for anything creative. And the gray area there is that there are some things that you could argue are creative, like, I don't know, shaders, for example, that I'm just saying like, it's fine for it to generate that. But I'm not using AI for music or for art or for sounds or for game design. So yeah, you could use it to fill in the blanks if you want. You could use it for music if you want. And some audiences won't care. Some audiences will be against it. Some will probably be for it. Maybe it'd be better than what you would have had otherwise. By the way, this reminds me of the 7-line story. Like, once upon a time... how did it go? I'll just look this up. 7-line story. It was like an everyday 7-point story structure. It was an improv technique. Wait a second. Where? Yeah. Something like this. So yeah, like once upon a time, there was a wizard, and like every day this wizard would go down to the well. Yeah, until one day the well was empty. And then because of that, and finally, and then like here's what happened as a result of this. It's just a basic improv structure of like if you're trying to make a scene. And I kind of think it's similar with this, with our game design here. These are somewhat bite-sized games. So we're like, hey, once upon a time there was a tower defense game. And like you would place towers and keep going until one time you tried placing a tower and something unusual happened. Like it sunk into the ocean. And you realize like, oh, I have this ability to sink all of these buildings into the ocean. So now you start destroying your own towers. I think that's kind of interesting. The idea that you would have to destroy your own towers is interesting. You may not have the tools to do that. And if you didn't succeed at the tower defense originally, it would happen for you. The enemies would destroy the towers. Another random idea, as long as I'm just spewing stuff out here. What if you controlled both sides? You control the enemies and the players. but you don't realize you're controlling the enemies. Maybe as you get gold, your buildings start producing more units, but the enemies scale with that gold production. If you scrolled the screen enough, you'd see your enemy stronghold. There was some kind of building for the enemies, right? I see all those buildings, but I thought there was some like, maybe you could consider it to be like these little things on the water, or maybe that. But no, yeah, maybe like this tree or something. Maybe that could be like the enemy stronghold. Yeah. You can control it. If you can control it, I guess you'd never build more stuff. Hmm. Hmm. I gotta put some more thought into this. Nothing is striking me here. The thing is, it usually something hits me and I'm like, okay, that's the direction we gotta go in. And it just hasn't happened. But also, I should get lunch. It's close enough to noon. I've been streaming for more than 3 hours anyway. And I want to pursue this in most of the afternoon. So, yeah. Yeah. I think I'll go get my lunch. Okay, well, am I coming back? Yeah, yeah, I'll be back after lunch. We'll do some probably game design and everything. Maybe clean up some of those coding tasks that I had to. But I think I mostly wanted to be game design. In fact, yeah, I think I want to write that down. I think I mostly want the afternoon to be about game design. I want to have ideas that I'm excited about for checkpoint 3. Need more co-working time for my note refining. Well, I wish you luck on that. Yeah, I'll be back probably in about like an hour and a half, probably about 1 p.m. my time. But thank you all for watching so far. Thanks for being here. And I hope you've enjoyed. And I hope you have a productive afternoon when I get back. So yeah, take care for now. See you next time.